Like, you don't want to run to the streets just because that's always there or it's the easiest. Because a lot of people think it's the hardest, but it's really the easiest way when you came up kind of similar to how I did. But I knew it would be harder for me to actually isolate and evaluate and actually get some goals down and start to try to pursue them. It's LeviGotIt. I'm in here with DEcoded TV, one of the hottest hip-hop platforms coming out of Delaware. I'm about to get into the lyric breakdown of my single, I Keep Callin', produced by Chalk on the beat, off the project. Logged off, locked in. Make sure y'all go tune in. That's out on all platforms. Stay tuned. So the song I Keep Callin', off that EP, it wasn't really intentional to have that sort of concept with the song, but it's just what I felt at the moment when I heard the beat. And it was a rough year for me, recalling and just trying to reflect on people that I lost, more than a few. So it was like I tapped into that space mentally and emotionally and really spiritually, because I'm not really able to get through the tough times without acknowledging all of the above. So as I went to express that, that's what I came up with. What I want people to get from the song is just the last few words that I said. Like, I felt like I was searching for a purpose and ended up finding myself. Like, I feel like I was losing myself trying to search for it somewhere else or just in other areas. So I knew I had to look within and even find what I was on the verge of becoming and what I wanted to become if I wanted to change in any way. Last calling the shots. Bars closing, need a double grandma yay on the rocks. My heart coldest it's ever been. Evidently I've been calling a lot on people that's gone and waiting answers, knowing they not even alive at this point. That right there was Grandma Ye, that's like the old reliable outside of before Hennessy, before I was even put on to that. It was Grandma Ye as far as dark. That just got me, you know what I mean, and my family got me drinking dark liquor. But, you know, if you in a bar, you ever been out, last call, you know what I mean, you know, you go get your drinks, whatever it is. But I needed that. I felt like my heart was colder than Grandma Ye on the rocks, in a sense of not needing it to celebrate, but needing it to try to express myself emotionally. I'm just numb, can't even cry at this point. Take the wheel, can't even drive. I've been honest, I've been blind, but you see it in my eyes at this point. Only measurement I really got is time. I've been trying to cherish mine with my fam. Right there was, it's times where I really can't or I don't allow myself to express emotionally. And I just roll with the punches, or I just get in the flow of whatever I feel is a sign of strength, or trying to just brush it off like, all right, this is kind of normal. I've been through this before, I'm gonna get through it, and I don't really acknowledge what I'm feeling, or I don't really have a way to identify with it. So it's like I'm going numb and I kind of shut down. But it just got to a point where I couldn't cry about it, I wasn't willing to. And just all the wrong ways to cope. Pretty much. Fighting the urge to bag a couple grams and risk my freedom over a couple grand. But damn, it's been a minute since my bro been in the can. I still ain't write them, but got lyrics I'm writing out for my fans. That right there was, you know, it's hard to escape from what you used to or just accustomed to doing, kind of chose to do to make money. As if it's hard to just get a job and just get some bread and just get out the way real quick when you need to get yourself back together mentally, emotionally, or whatever it is, because you're kind of in the way if you're not yourself in the way. You know what I mean? More so, like, you don't want to run to the streets just because that's always there or it's the easiest. Because a lot of people think it's the hardest, but it's really the easiest way when you came up kind of similar to how I did. But I knew it would be harder for me to actually isolate and evaluate and actually get some goals down and start to try to pursue them. But other than that, it was like they contradicted with what I was feeling. So it was like in reality, I got people that's locked up going through way worse situations, or not even just locked up, but in general, you know what I mean? I'm out here writing lyrics, trying to do all of this stuff musically, and you know what I mean, just hoping that it impact a better change or just a better correlation. But in reality, it's like I'm still hurt because I'm feeling what my people are feeling, and it's kind of hard to separate the two or just purposely find balance with it. So, you know what I mean, I'm writing lyrics to songs and trying to get these to different platforms and I ain't even wrote my mans and he been booked probably 5 years. So it's like, it's kind of different. Last time I said I wasn't drinking, I brought me a bottle. Dropped Fear with Cuz and figured that we should go for an album. Mixtape with Chalk as the therapist, consulting my problems. Logged off and locked in for the time we was wildin'. Well, that's kind of self-explanatory. I said I was done trying to cope the wrong ways and I ended up back doing it again. Drinking, smoking, whatever it was. A lot of other harsh things. But just had to shake it off. It became a habit for me to run to those things when I was down or when I would go numb per se, and that would keep me numb. And I got accustomed to how I felt being numb and not realizing that I wasn't feeling stuff at all. And reacting and responding to other situations and certain people that I love, I was able to get that reflection like, all right, yeah, you need to relax. Like, you're not yourself in certain moments. But last time I said I wasn't drinking, I went and got a bottle. I dropped Fear with Cuz, the Fear EP, the first EP of the series that I put out, Fear, Fearless, and then Logged Off, Locked In with Chalk. My cousin Seth Malik produced 3 tracks of that EP. And I named it Fear for specific reasons. It was a lot of fears that people were trying to place on me, and then certain fears that I was kind of growing out of now that I was experiencing a new mentality and just everyday life. So I dropped a mixtape with Chalk, sort of like the therapy, consulting my problems, like expressing what I was going through in the growth, because it was like boot camp between recording both of those projects. They was like simultaneously at the same time. I just didn't release them that way. So I got all of these beats I'm getting from when I'm at the house with Cuz, and then I got beats when Chalk hear me freestyling, and it's like going to the booth and record that right now. Like, I ain't really got time to write it. I don't have time to tap in emotionally, but I have to tap into whatever I can in order to get this off and it makes sense on the beat. Fearless but vulnerable. I lost some guys to suicide. It's like we had a plan and God called an audible. I know it's hard for you, but the strongest soldiers get the toughest battles. Remember why God called for you. Even them battles I took on trying to fight with myself. I walk with angels, blind I know they provided their help. Fearless but vulnerable. Fearless was the 3rd EP I put out after those. Executively produced by Cuz this time. And Fearless in a sense of, like I was saying, I was growing out of the childhood fears that I had, and just growing into a young man. So it was like I didn't have the time to acknowledge the fears that other people was placing on me for the things that I wanted to pursue in my own life. I didn't acknowledge them the same way. There was no way I was going to allow somebody to feel what they couldn't do, tell me that I couldn't do it just off of that. So it's like I'm fearless, but I'm vulnerable because I'm just growing out of this stage. It's still fresh for me, but I was a sponge, so it was like I could have absorbed the wrong things and used that to try to get myself through or get forward. But I was able to, really lock in as far as, getting away from social media, getting away from, certain environments that wouldn't allow me to, and really just take a change for the better, more serious. Search for a purpose and I ended up finding myself. Felt alone but never was, put my pride on the shelf. I mean, if you know, you know, but for those who don't, that's just getting to know me, it was a rough time. Confusing, frustrating, all of the above. The ultimate test that I've had firsthand. It was like, you got stuff that you experience, like I've been through this before, you got the time to evaluate and go into it differently. It was a year straight where I didn't have that. I didn't have the time to identify with what I feel and just, So it was like, it was suicides. It was one that was ruled that we know it wasn't, but it was like, how do I keep moving forward and keep pushing? And I felt like I was searching for something. I was trying to get answers. I was trying to understand what I was feeling, and then all the while just trying to be an artist and still trying to conceal what I'm truly feeling so that I'm not as vulnerable. So it was a lot. It was a lot on my mental, for real. But I had to let go, and once I did, I kind of found myself, growing into the young man that I'm on the verge of becoming, for real. Because it was like just battles, personal battles, inside battles. We all got them silent battles we don't really tell everybody about. But to acknowledge them in that way and to leave them alone in that way as well. Because it's like, it ain't really your battle if it's something you're not in control of. You feel what I'm saying? Who else you gonna give it to? And there's a higher power that's always working on your side, regardless of how much you feel as though you're in control of something. So that's what I went with. Instead of searching for a purpose, I found how to be a better version of myself, and you know what I mean, realized I didn't have to search for nothing at all. I was right here. It's Levi Got It. We just finished wrapping up the lyric breakdown to my single I Keep Calling, produced by Chalk off the EP, Logged Off, Locked In. You can find me on Instagram at LeviGotIt_. You can find me on the YouTube channel LeviGotIt302, and majority of the streaming platforms is LeviGotIt on everything. I did just make a TikTok, so bear with me, but LeviGotIt on the TikTok. I'm gonna have some content for y'all soon. Yeah, follow the YouTube channel, MBKG Music. Follow my guys on the gram too, MBKG Music _. We're gonna have a few compilation projects, you know, singles, features, another mixtape coming out. You know what I mean? Just really working on ownership right now. But yeah, pretty much Levi Got on all platforms. Make sure y'all tune into the MBKG Music page as well.